What's up, everybody? This is Dejan, the owner of Tinae's Wealth Management. Just checking in to give you all some free game on how to fill out the Form 1040 for U.S. individual income tax returns for 2021. Now, I've already started completing this just to give people a lot of insight on how to go about it. So let's dive into how to complete the 1040. Now, a lot of people have been asking me for tricks and tips on how to complete this, so I really want to give you a realistic breakdown on how I actually fill out my taxes. So, first things first, you always start off first, last name, you put your social security number, you add the little things like these. So, of course, these are the important details that you first want to start off and add. Now, what I usually tell people, if you have children, you typically want to add their names here in these lines. You want to add their social security numbers, of course, the relationship to you. And then, if that particular child qualifies for the child tax credit, then of course you would check those boxes off. So, one thing I want to say is make sure that the dependents that you claim are children that are actually living in your household for, of course, most of the year, because a lot of people like to try to finesse the situation. But I'm just here to say, just claim your children or whoever your dependents are, because with this whole stimulus ordeal that was going out over the last couple of years, some of this money was getting sent to the wrong people, or all these people that was trying to finesse the system, the money wasn't going directly to them. So I first want to start off by saying, make sure you claim the dependents that are entitled to you. Now, let's keep going and let's look at line one where it asks for our wages, salaries, and tips. Now, I just put, just basic numbers here just as a brief example, and I started off with $12,900. Now, keep this in mind. I'm pretty much using this example assuming I'm not getting dividends or distributions, Social Security. I'm a 28-year-old guy. Let's just say I'm just working a regular 9 to 5. So, of course, you would add what you made for the year in the first line at the top, and you would pretty much indicate that you made that 12,900. Now, of course, there's no other things that I've made money with this year, so that brings you to line 9, where you put down the total income that you made for that year. Now, keep this in mind. I know there are some people that invest in stock for capital gains or losses. So if you do have anything, make sure you notate that on your 1040. And of course, you'll get attached documents that can assist you with these things. And of course, they'll tell you, hey, put your capital gains or your capital loss on this line, and then it'll factor out the math for you. Also, on things like 12B, for example, there are some people that donate to charities like Salvation Army or Goodwill. You can definitely include your charitable contributions if you've done so. But again, I've made this real easy for people to understand so that you can really get the understanding of the basics. So on line 12C here, some people say, well, why would you put, $12,550 there? And why would you also put it on 12A? My thing is, you would take the standard deduction for being a single person and you would add it to those lines. So the reason I did that was because, one, for 12A, my standard deduction as a single man would be $12,550. I didn't do any charitable contributions, which brought that down again at 12C to $12,550. And again, it brings down to line 14. And then when you do the math at line 15, you get $350. Now, some people are saying, Dejan, how did you get $350 for taxable income? Well, that's where you get the $12,900 and you deduct $12,550, which was the standard deduction, and that brings you out to a total of $350. So that's how you do the first 15 lines. Of course, it could be different for those that invest or, make money from pensions and annuities. But again, I'm a young guy. I don't have these. I will make more videos on it so that you can understand. But let's just continue to move throughout this tax form. Now, on line 16, everybody's saying, how did you get 36 for tax? And my thing is, there's what's called a tax table that you can look up online. I usually tell people, make sure you just do a Google search, put 1040, basically the tax chart, and it's pretty much going to show you a breakdown of the income. And I'm going to show you here right now so that you can get a quick peek at it. But right here, you can pretty much see where they have 36 for basically the taxes that you'll be getting from this type of ordeal. And then you would draw that number down to line 18 and line 22 for that same reason. Now, I just noticed I didn't put a 36 right here, so let me go ahead and put a 36 right there as well, so that it doesn't cause confusion for you guys. But you'd pretty much draw those lines down. And then when you get to line 25A, some people ask, how do you know what your federal income tax withholdings would be? Pretty much, you would have that on your pay stubs, not on your pay stubs, on your actual W-2s. You could really just port that information over. I put $1,100 for the federal taxes that were paid throughout the year, and of course, the $36 from that tax table. Now, what you would typically do is subtract that 36 from that $1,100 that you paid in federal taxes, and that gives you a refund of $1,054. So this is a basic way to fill out the actual 1040 tax form. And let me just give you guys a quick run through again, just so you all really understand what I'm trying to say. So again, you start off at the beginning, you put your first and last name, you would add your social security number, addresses, places you've lived. You always want to notate these key important information. Now, I also forgot to say from the beginning, if you've bought, sold, or exchanged cryptocurrency and anything like that, you would put yes, but in our case, we would put no. So just assume that we're just going to check that off. So I really wanted to show people just a quick run through so you can really get an understanding. Now, as far as your dependents, if you have any that are yours, that have lived in your household, you've taken care of the majority of the year, you want to make sure you claim them. Again, I don't have any kids, so I'm just putting these lines here just to show you all that you're supposed to, put that out. And if, the child qualifies for the child tax credit, make sure you notate that as well. So you really want to make sure that you're paying attention to a lot of things that you're putting on this actual IRS form. And again, a lot of the information that you can get from here are typically going to be ported over from your W-2. So your W-2s are going to be a really big important factor for completing your 1040. So make sure you get all of your tax forms from your employer. If they don't send it to you, reach out to them by phone, email, and I'm pretty sure they'll be able to get back to you. I was able to retrieve a lot of mine, so I'm pretty sure you all can do it again. So again, just a quick run through. Pretty much started off the year. We made $12,900. We pretty much drug all of that information down since we didn't invest. We don't have pensions, annuities, Social Security benefits, and things of that nature. So you bring down that $12,900. Of course, when you do the math again, you would bring that back down again. There's nothing being done there. So you bring all of that down. Then you get around to 12A. You add your standard deduction of $12,550 for a single person. Now, if I would have had charitable contributions, I could have added let's just say $300, which is the IRS standard. And if you're married, it's $600. I could add that, but I didn't donate this year. So just bring that down as well. So then when you start getting to line 15, you have to do the math and subtract the deduction from your actual wages that you've made throughout the year, and that comes up with $350. Now, keep in mind, you need to use the tax table in order to determine where you stand when you get to the next page, because I don't think it's line 1 through 15 that give most people a problem. I really think it's line 16 all the way up into 37 and such, because sometimes when people start to look at what's going on their tax forms, I think they get really confused or really scared because they see a lot of information on here. But really, it's just a matter of reading and doing basic addition and subtraction, because a lot of these numbers, again, they're coming straight from, your schedules. They're coming from, your W-2s. So it's not like a lot of this information takes a lot of number crunching or real critical thinking. A lot of it is really plugging and chugging, and you may have a little bit of math depending on if you're one of those people that may have to, let's just say, do some math as far as your child and dependent care credits and things like that. So you might have a little bit of math to deal with, But for the most part, you can solve this with pretty much just a regular or standard calculator. So don't get overwhelmed with what you're seeing. Reach out to a tax professional, including myself, at 904-708-8082, and we can do the work for you this year. We have state and federal taxes starting off at $100, and for businesses, it's going to be $250. Of course, because of the software that's going to be needed to get these deductions, and then having our sales pretty much put you in the best position as possible. So make sure you reach out to us at 904-708-8082 or our website at tinaeswm.net. So again, man, the 1040 is usually one of the most basic forms that I think people fill out, at least as far as themselves. If you're just a regular person that just works, you don't have kids, you don't have dependents and things like that, the process is usually more simpler. But of course, when you add kids, small businesses, and things of that nature, it makes the 1040 process a little more complex, which is understandable. And another reason why I say you should typically reach out to a professional or even myself so that we can help you out. So again, I really appreciate everybody for watching this example on Form 1040 for the U.S. individual income tax return. And I really look forward to dropping more videos for you all soon. So definitely hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, turn your notifications on, and tell a friend. Thank you, and stay blessed, y'all.